Very often in your research, you will be studying a substance and you want to compare the physical properties that you are measuring to what is in the literature. We are also going to see that sometimes you can just measure physical properties of an unknown substance and see what is in the literature that may be this substance. There are several different sources to look at, which is why we will be spending the next several lessons on finding physical property. The first place I want to show you is getting physical property data on free websites. What I'm showing you is the same chemistry guide called a LibGuide, which I showed you before. Here is another way to get into it. This is a guide I developed at City College. It is mounted at City College, but almost everything in here is free wherever you are. You start by going to the City College Library homepage, which I have listed here, and you click on CCNY Libraries. On this screen, you just click on Research Guides. When you get to your campus library, you will see similar research guides. Many different topics are covered. I'm clicking on chemistry. For some reason, the provider of these guides is making life more complicated than it needs to be. Just clicking on chemistry is not enough. Then you have to click again on the website. This brings you to even another screen where again you have to click chemistry. At the top of this slide, I have also listed the direct link to this library guide. You could bookmark it and then come back to it whenever you need to. I am looking at the tab called Physical. Note there is also another one marked Spectra. A lot of the sources that I'm showing you have physical property data and they also have spectra. It's hard to separate the ones that just have spectra. That is why if you clicked on the Spectra tab, it will refer you back to the Physical tab. A very good place to start your search whenever you are looking for physical properties is the very first one at the top of this list. That's why I put it there. It's the NIST Chemistry Webbook. NIST stands for the National Institute of Standards and Technology. It used to be called the National Bureau of Standards. They collect very good, reliable data. The data in the webbook is the kind of data that you usually have to pay for. When the webbook was first introduced back in 1999, I was at an American Chemical Society meeting where the producers were actually talking about it, and they were hoping to keep it free. This is more than 20 years later. It is still free, and we are fortunate for that. This screen summarizes the number of compounds in the chemistry webbook and the different physical properties that it covers. Just click on the link NIST Chemistry Webbook and then you will get into the webbook itself. You can see the various ways you can search for chemical substances. CAS registry number, which stands for Chemical Abstract Service Registry Number, is a very important way to identify substances. We will be spending a lot of time on that later. You can also see that you can search by physical properties. I'm just doing a very simple search by name, formaldehyde, which you will see on the next screen. I just typed its name in, and I checked all the boxes to see the complete record for this compound. If you go into the webbook and do the search, you will see a very long record. I just have one part of it displayed here, this chart that has gas phase thermochemistry data. Several important points about the webbook. Every bit of data that's here has been critically reviewed. You can trust it. You do not have to go back to the original source. Right next to each data, you see a brief reference. At the end of the record, each brief reference is fully explained. And when I'm asking you in your assignment to provide the reference for your data, use the complete reference that's at the bottom. A complete reference is always just the author of the article, the name of the journal, the volume, the issue, and the pages. It's not just a brief reference that's at the top. Another useful feature in the webbook is an explanation of all the abbreviations that are used. This is at the end, at the bottom of every record. There are many good websites under this physical tab. You should take a look at all of them. I'm looking at one now called ChemSpider, which is very popular. It's good to compare ChemSpider to the webbook. The webbook has critically reviewed, very reputable data. Let's take a look and see what's in ChemSpider. I'm doing the same search on formaldehyde. You can search it in a similar way that you search the webbook. Notice that this is a commercial site. There are advertisements there, which makes you wonder about how good it really could be. Look up a substance or a compound that you are familiar with and take a look at the data. You will see that a lot of it does not have a literature reference. It's also privately submitted. People could submit data. And sometimes it's data just from a supplier's website. It's hard to know whether you can trust everything or what you can trust on this. It's a very different kind of website than the webbook where you can trust everything. The other tab where I listed physical property websites is under crystallography. There are too many just to include it under the physical tab. This is not everything on crystallography. It's just the websites that are free. But if you are ever doing any crystallography work, this is a very good starting point.